Today on the Biz Talk, we are going to discuss how not to sabotage your business. We see too many things, and although they might seem small, are extremely important right now on the Biz Talk. All right, Trace.
Spittle.
Do you need chapstick?
No, you gave me something.
Is that weird?
It's a little weird.
Is it? But you're
not to me, actually, not at all.
You're like my sister, yes. So I feel like it's.
No, you're officially a girlfriend. If you share chapstick, you're like, it's official.
Okay.
You're like there with all the girls.
Okay. I want to talk about sabotaging your own business, and this is something that I think I see with business owners in general, like things that happen. Okay. In the nail business, I know it happens all the time because we're expecting these nail professionals who just got out of school to become business owners. Instantly.
Yeah.
And that requires, it's hard, right? Owning and running a business is extremely difficult. It is not easy. And so you can do things to sabotage. I have a couple thoughts in mind, but I want to ask you first, what are the things that you see in the salon where a nail pro is sabotaging their own business and they don't even know they're doing it?
Right. I think the lines are really blurred sometimes in salon life because it's kind of intimate, right? You're holding hands with people, very close. You have conversations. It's not like, oh, here's your order kind of thing, or you're purchasing something in a store. You're having full-blown conversations. So the line of friendship can get blurred, and I see it, and it can cause problems.
So getting too close with the client.
Yeah.
And what's an example?
They feel guilty for charging. I see it all the time. So
nail art specifically.
Nail art, or don't want to increase the prices. They haven't done it forever because I feel bad. They're my friends. No.
Did you feel bad?
No.
well.
No, I mean, I have a heart.
That's debatable.
Shut up. And I never wanted to overcharge my clients. I wanted to be one of the more expensive in town.
Right.
But I don't want to gouge them.
Right.
But I wanted to get paid.
Right, of course.
It was a business. I looked at it, but not for the first 2 years. That's why I can relate.
Well, I think that's why business is really hard because, it's all about relationships, right? Building a business, especially when you're competing with, in this case, a lot of salons in the area. In our case, as a manufacturer, we're competing against, companies that are owned by multi-billion-dollar corporations. How do you compete? For us, it's always been relationships. You know what I mean? With distributors, with salon owners, with nail professionals. But what is that line, right?
Right. So would you say, a distributor doesn't pay you for months and months and months? Well, they're my friend.
Yeah.
Or they want a bigger discount than really what they should have, but they're my friend. No, there's that line. You should be friendly. Of course.
Right.
You have a bond, but there's that. Here it is.
Yeah. Well,
here it is.
I think it is that the relationship has to be there, right? But then there's a mutual respect, right? That respect has to be there where you respect the client in terms of you're going to make sure you give her a great set. So
I appreciate their money. I appreciate their time. I appreciate that they're coming to me. Yeah.
Well, so the flip. Let's flip it for a second, right? So what does that look like? Well, let's say you're the nail pro and you just do kind of a half-ass set on your friend, and you're like, oh, but they're my friend, so it's cool. That's not okay.
That's not cool either.
Yeah, that's not okay, right? Just because you might know them well, it doesn't mean that you give them a half-ass set. You need to you got to make sure that is dialed in. It's professional. There's respect for the product that you're putting on their fingers, correct?
Absolutely. Well, number one, it's your name on those nails.
Right.
Are you really going to half-ass something, put it on them, and then walk around and go, hey, Tracy did these nails. No, I don't want that.
Right.
But on the flip side, your friends shouldn't expect this discount.
Right.
That goes with it. I mean, when you're first starting, friends are great because they're willing to let you practice, let you learn, and of course, you're not going to be like, it's $90, and
of course
I took 50 hours, and I'm just talking from my experience.
Right.
I was just like, hey, could you cover the cost of the product and stuff like that. But once you have a clientele, if you could have someone else in that chair, and they're going to pay you full price.
Yeah.
I don't think your friends don't want to cut into your income either.
So I think this is something that leaks into every part of the business, right? If you don't have the ability as an owner, a nail professional, to say, okay, here's the deal. Like, this is my pricing. Like, it's not negotiable. You know what I mean? Like, and you got to pay me, and like, not to say it like that, but you can communicate the information to the client in a very respectful manner to let them know and inform them. But also that leaks out into every part of your business when it's time to raise prices. No, I don't want to do it because they're my friend. Or, there's so many different ways. I can only think of young nails as an example, right? Accounts receivable, accounts payable, like collecting money, paying vendors, relationships with customers.
Fun.
No, it's not. Like, there's times where you have to step up. You've got to be able to make decisions and go. If you are wishy-washy, right, in any process of your business, whether it's whether my client should pay me full price or give them a break, or should I add for nail art? Should I raise my price? And you're constantly wishy-washy. I'm telling you, you are going to be in a lot of trouble.
Well, and it's frustrating to the client. If you're wishy-washy like that, like one day it's this, one day it's that, they don't like it either. You have to kind of say it with confidence, even if you're not confident about it.
Right.
Because you're not asking permission. It's just a fact. And you will be surprised if you say it that way, like, oh, my price is this.
Right.
It won't even be a subject.
I swear, and this is just the truth, like, over the last almost 20 years of, young nails and building the business, and like, a lot of the decisions that I've made have been off of just feel. And sometimes, like, the information is saying don't do this, but I do it anyway. But here's the one thing I do consistently. I make a decision and go. And it's like, we're going in this direction.
Right.
And you've seen it, right? There's been a number of times where it's like, oh, that was a very bad decision. It didn't work out. So now we know. Got the information, move on, and continue to make decisions. I really feel like it's so much more important to, like, have that skill down as a business owner. And if you're not able to make decisions and just go and commit to them full force, you're going to destroy your own business. Like, you're going to sabotage.
Well, and I will say on that, if you are a salon owner, for me, having a boss that has that kind of like, this is the decision, and not wishy-washy.
Right.
That can be very frustrating for an employee. Like, if your boss is kind of wishy-washy
of course,
about stuff.
Right.
So if you own a salon and you are determined and you make your decisions, your employees are going to follow suit too.
That's right.
It's not going to be frustrating for them.
That's right. And the thing with me is, like, a lot of people don't want to make decisions, right? Because they're afraid to make the wrong one.
Right.
Whereas, like, my thing is, okay, I'm going to use my ability to make the best judgment possible.
With the information I have on hand.
You just don't know how it's going to turn out until you make it and you commit to it and you go.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is that what I always say is, okay, I have to now watch and see what happens. And if it is the wrong decision and I see it's the wrong decision, stop, cut, move on.
Well, that's being willing to admit it didn't work.
That you're wrong, right.
And some people get stuck.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that will sabotage your business. You've made the wrong decision. You really kind of know you made the wrong decision.
Right.
And you're not willing to admit that.
Right. I always go back to this one example, and because it was like one of the worst decisions that I think I've made. But
was it going into business with Greg?
it was
we have
Greg's here.
A live audience today.
We have a live audience. We worked with there was a marketing company that we hired. Okay, now, and here's the thing. Like, they did about 7 or 8 months of work. Okay, and we committed, and it was a lot of money. Okay, when we got the final product, I didn't like it. And this is just it's my opinion. right? Like, not to say that their work was bad or good. It's just I didn't like it. And I openly told them, look, I don't like it. And so and we'd already invested all this money, plus we owed them a lot more money. And what did I do? I paid the bill, and I cut it. I just completely cut it off. And we didn't use any of the material at all. And that was heartbreaking and difficult. But the thing is that I realized, okay, this didn't work. So instead of like continuing to go down that road of like, I'm going to incorporate something in our business that I absolutely don't like, just because we paid the money for it, that wasn't an option for me. It was like, I made a mistake. This wasn't the right option. I cut it. We moved on, and we looked for the next option, the next company to work with. But I still look, we paid our bills.
Yeah, I was going to say, I love that. Like, you're not like, I don't like it, so I'm not paying.
No way.
You have good business practices.
Of course.
Is important to a business too. And
so that's another thing, Trace, is like, when you go into business, you know, and as a salon owner or a nail pro, you've got to like, you know, good business practices. What does that mean? It's like, you know, you're going to make wrong decisions. You're going to screw up. So what? You know what I mean? Own it. You know, in this case, I did. I owned it, paid the bill, which was, I'm telling you, it wasn't a small amount of money. It was very, very difficult. And it you know, it put us back.
Well, and to literally not use one piece of it.
One piece of it, none of it, was really hard to deal with. But all of those things ultimately led to where we are today, which is figuring out the right direction for our company marketing-wise and building our team, and then now executing on it on a daily basis. Like, you know, this is why our business is growing, you know, so fast today, and we're having so much fun. But it is that practice, and it's like, I can't, I highly recommend for nail professionals to just take that on. You know what I mean?
I like that. And I like to, I mean, there's been things that haven't succeeded at first, right? Like the vlogs.
Yes.
You know, at first.
Yes.
But you committed, like, I'm going to give it this amount of time. So sometimes you have to have, you know, it's a balance. Like, if it's totally not working and you foresee it's not going to work, cut your ties. But you have to give some things a little fighting chance.
That's exactly right. Like with the first company, right? This marketing firm, it was 6-7 months.
Yeah.
It was a good amount of time. Didn't work. Pulled the cord. Moved on. The same thing with when we started creating content in the vlogs. We started in end of February. I remember. And we didn't actually see any results until September.
Actually, we did see results.
We did. They went down.
They went down.
Our results went down. But we tweaked content, we kept creating, and then come September, I remember it was like, whoa, we saw this pretty strong uptick in our sales, and that started changing things for us, and then started kind of guiding us in the right path. But like you said, you have to give it a fighting chance.
Yeah.
And overall, I just to kind of wrap this up, I think you will sabotage your business if you're wishy-washy. You will sabotage your business if you're not, you know, making these decisions that you know you need to make. And I have enough conversations with nail professionals at shows where they're like, Habib, I know I need to do that.
It's the first thing they say.
Yeah, I know. Well, you got to start doing it. If you know, do it. And that way, ultimately, I think you'll keep your business growing. You're going to keep your business safe, more than safe. You're going to keep it growing.
You'll have a lot of people giving opinions.
That's exactly right.
You know, so that wishy-washy kind of plays into that part too. Like, one person says this, so you go that way, then the next person, you know. So.
Right. And that's why it's like, okay, thanks. I'm going to make this decision and we're going to go. Like, let's just go. I say that all the time. Yeah. Let's go. Because we got to keep moving, you know, ultimately. So let us know in the comments below just some tips that you might have for nail pros that are starting out. What are things they can do to avoid, you know, sabotaging their business? This is kind of our opinion and our take. We'd love to hear yours. And with that, we'll say thank you for joining us. And we'll see you next week on the Biz Talk.